More, let's bring in Jacqueline Alemay in Wilmington, Delaware. She's a political reporter and author of Power Up for the Washington Post. Jacqueline, your thoughts on what we saw from Donald Trump just a few minutes ago?
Yeah, well, I do have to say right off the bat that is one of the most dishonest and potentially, unsubstantiated speeches that I think we've ever heard from the president. Election officials and states around the country have administered their elections accurately and fairly and with integrity. And what we're seeing play out right now, despite the president's allegations otherwise, is the system working. It's democracy working in its truest and best form. You are seeing Americans work overnight through a global pandemic for multiple days straight in order to count these ballots. And that is the way this was always going to play out. We knew that it was going to take some time, that mail-in ballots, due to some of the president's own actions actually interfering with the U.S. Postal Service, were going to arrive late, and that in some key battleground states, it was going to take some time for them to be counted. But there is no fraud. This is the president. What we're seeing right now is him really, there's a whiff of desperation to this. He sees that his paths are narrowing, and he has a really, really delicate tightrope to victory right now that goes through Pennsylvania. If he loses that state, which currently, in what we're seeing in some of the tabulations, is he's on the path to losing it, then the race is over for him. So this is the president really just trying to make one more grasp, but he might be in the process of really taking down some important tenets of democracy with him.
Of the many falsehoods that he made in that statement, one of them that stuck out to me was the fact that he talked about these mail-in votes, and he said, they're illegal. But you should keep counting the mail-in votes in Arizona because he may win those. But don't count the mail-in votes in Pennsylvania because those are Democratic votes.
That's exactly right. What you're seeing is, the amount of legal challenges and where they're going to is directly proportional to the states that he realizes that he's losing. And that's because we knew that in some of these places where mail-in ballots disproportionately were cast by Democrats, that there was going to be a blue shift. And if you tabulated the results in actually the reverse order, Democrats would have had a huge lead right off the bat, much like the red mirage that we saw at the start of the week. This was to be expected. The mail-in ballots are not fraudulent, and every vote will be counted. And it is really incumbent upon our top officials around the country, leaders, governors, elected officials, Americans, to make sure and embrace this process and not buy into the president's conspiracy theories that he's propagating from the highest office in the land.
Jacqueline Alemay in Wilmington, Delaware, political reporter and author of Power Up for the Washington Post. Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thanks for having me.
Okay.